will be done for multiplayer actions. I could do the upgrade here if I wanted to upgrade the constellation. Wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. What do I currently have? I have one more yellow boys. Crit damage. The problem with crit damage is that we don't really gain a lot by crit damage because we only do crits when we attack somebody who has their back to us, and that pretty much never happens when you're playing solo. So the only hope is if you're playing multiplayer and someone else has aggro. So yeah, that's not really something that I think is really worth investing into right now, at least for Victoria. Now what I could do, I know I already did this last time. Yeah, we did a couple of upgrades. Or maybe just one. Yeah, just one upgrade. For Combat Veteran. I think I'd rather save my money. Actually, I say that. Hold on. It's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be a minute before we do our next upgrade anyway. I'm assuming it'll be like 200,000 monies. But it's gonna be a while before we can afford our next weapon upgrade. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would be more worthwhile to do the constellation upgrade. Yeah, so we got tier 3 constellation upgrade. Yeah, this is much less of an aggressive upgrade. Kind of a ramping up where the numbers get a lot wilder, a lot quicker. So crit damage, probably not, but health, yes. And physical attack, yes. And probably more health, honestly. I mean, I could do ultimate cooldown by 1.5 seconds, but the difference between 50 seconds and 48.5 seconds, to me, it's just not worth it. I'd rather have more HP. To me, it's a pretty obvious choice. Do I have any of these to claim? No, but we were getting close. One more defeat, and we'll get some more glyphs and some more monies to claim. Go and embark, and let's go ahead and check out Cauldron of Bats. Sounds like a great place. All to work towards the Castle of Evil. Go and jump in. Stick with friends only for now. But yeah, if nothing else, I'd be down to, like, you know, try playing with randos if nothing else. And of course, we could always go to an early level, try hard mode. I'm kind of curious to try mythic mode, see how bad that is, you know, see how painful it is. Maybe it's not too bad. The last couple times I played as Maggie, I kind of got my ass kicked a little bit. Mostly because we were playing on some harder levels. And of course, Maggie is a character that really throws herself into the fray, so you gotta be careful about this kind of thing. Corruption on enemies or power attacks just deal more damage. The corruption one does sound tempting. It really do be that way. This is just always nice, as we pretty much do exclusively power attacks. So 10% more damage. Or corruption, which I think makes them more vulnerable. I can't remember that one. Yeah, more vulnerable to damage. Double-edged, man, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it when you're playing by yourself, that's for sure. I think I might do this one, because I have a feeling that I will probably get slapped around a little bit. Wish there was a third-person view.
I think I found something.
Whoops, not that. I wish there was a third-person view so I could see how we look with our cool giant purple sword. I hope it looks like a lightsaber. I hope we look super badass. Anything before we venture forward? This room is very impressive looking. Also, I always love that lunge ability. I don't really use it all that often, just because there's not a ton of opportunities for it, but it does look pretty sick. Very impressive statue, too. I wonder if this is going to be the mini-boss, if there is a mini-boss. I don't know, we were talking about the gargoyles not too long ago. The show, Gargoyles. And I'm definitely getting some of those vibes from this guy. More villainous, villainesque than anything, but still. And the general aesthetic is definitely there. Alright, so that's going to spew shit at me, I can already tell. So this painting is not very well lit. You know, the lighting is very disappointing in this one. So this villain guy's got to step up his game. Oh, here we go. I was gonna say, I haven't seen anybody yet. Looks like they are immune to the poison of their buddies. Oh my god, we got poison person and... ouch. And ice person. Person's got like a blue shield on him. Oh god. Oh, I'm against the wall. No wonder. Let's do this. Let's also do this. And let's throw some shit around. Oh my god, I'm getting the shit kicked out of me. Oh my god. Let's go through the portal real quick. Oh, I can't go through the portal? What? Shit. Alright, this is off to a not so great start. Thought I could go through that portal and I was very excited. Yeah. Unfortunate start. Man, that was rough. That was awful. Oh my god. I got my ass kicked so quickly. It's a shame we couldn't jump through that portal. Maybe that was what they were using to teleport. Let's try that again. Exact same setup. Same difficulty. And that first room came in real fast and furious. My goodness. Quickly humbled. Power tech deals. Oh, the damage in a cone. I do like that one a lot. Cleaving is very good. Heavy hitter. Still standing. Heavy hitter's pretty good. I might need that with some of these chonkier enemies. Some of these enemies are definitely a lot. That's the thing too, because you know we were kind of getting used to being able to quickly dispatch a lot of bad guys. Now that some of them are starting with these enchantments, we got to work it out for us. Yeah, they got that protection on them. It's a shame that bad guys can't be affected by the magic spells that she's slinging. Like, we can dodge out of the way, but yeah, it's a shame that it doesn't seem to affect them. That's what we saw, the poison, that portal. I thought that meant that we could go through those portals. Alright, so we'll probably need to... Where is she? She's behind me.
Coming through.
Alright, guys, gonna say if I can just bum rush her. Surprised it didn't cancel it though. Now she's dead. Took a bit of poison damage, not too bad. Oh, one of these freaking dudes. Okay, we got him. If this was a harder difficulty, we would have taken a lot of damage just there, because there's no way you can kill those guys in one hit. In the upper echelons of this game's difficulty. Right, now we got some momentum going. Now we're feeling a little bit better. But yeah, that last round, man, I don't want to talk about it. That last round was rough. What's up, Hermit Queen? Good to see you. Came just in time to see a much more successful attempt, hopefully. Well, we're starting off a lot stronger, that's for sure. I just had a shameful attempt at this level where I died in the first room in record time. But you know, same thing as last time. We'll just say we were just shaking off the rust, you know? We're just kind of getting back into the swing of things. Now, there's still things. Let's just say there's still bad guys. I can hear the noises. You know what? I need to turn my audio up a little bit. It's a little bit quiet on my end. Got a very, very good ability. This cleave ability is so strong, where power attacks like send a shockwave out like that. So good. Makes our effective reach so much stronger. Really love it. I was gonna say, I know I'm hearing things. Okay, that means that the level is open. The next room is open. Doesn't always mean that the room is clear. We've had this happen before, where sometimes we'll get the room is open indicator, but more bad guys keep spawning in. I don't know if it's a bug or if that's just like a trick that later levels do or what, but it is something. Also, it seems like we're getting more glyphs. Maybe it's just confirmation bias, but it seems like we're getting more glyphs as rewards in just regular chests, which is very good. It's very much a good thing, because we need more of those for leveling up our stuff. Thank goodness characters share glyphs, you know, in a single account, because having to pick them up and be the character specific would be very unfortunate. A shard on that one, which is good. I practically sharded myself. Whoa! I was very lucky. Potion, very good. It's a little bit of a shame that they pretty much no matter what you do in the earlier difficulties, the first potion you find is going to be a small potion, regardless of how late in the game you are, because we're definitely to the point where we're being shown some pretty tough enemies right from the get-go in these later levels. I never did take this teleport. Ooh, very nice. More money and more money. We'll take it. We will take it. Yes, I think we're in good shape. Okay, now we're in good shape. Yeah, that's what that led to. You can kind of see it from afar. Playing these later levels in solo mode is definitely something. It's definitely something. Now, what's going to be more helpful, chill or poison? Probably chill. Poison is good, but it's just damage, whereas chill can actually freeze them, lock them in place, which makes them even more susceptible to physical damage. So, for me, it's a no-brainer. The corruption one is probably the best one, just because it makes them more vulnerable to just damage in general. The corruption one is probably the better, like, generally the better choice, but we didn't have that as an option, so just gotta choose one or the other. The ones we're given. And of course, some enemies are susceptible to cold damage. You saw the mimic rolling around. I was hoping they could trip those wires, but they cannot. Cannot trip the wires. I guess skeletons are so nimble, they know to avoid such things. I'm waiting for the little fella. Come around the bend. I know he's rolling around at the speed of sound. I'm worried he's gonna sneak up on me. These guys, that's fine, that's fine. Trying to avoid that very obvious pressure plate. Okay, there he is. You ever just run straight towards the fighter when you're a mage? You ever just run straight towards him in melee range? What a smart idea. Oh, I just run into the poison like a doofus. Ouch. I was hoping I could, like, jump around it. I'm not sure what I was thinking there. For some reason, I thought I could jump past it. Instead, I just kind of took it on the chin. Okay, well, for all my blunders, we did avoid having issues with this guy. That guy's dead. He pops like a frickin'... He popped like a frickin' pinata. Like a pinata filled with gold. Gold and trinkets and general treats. General treats for Alex. Boop. I will say I do like the cool blue hue that we have for our sword. Now that we got the ice enchantment, it looks really cool, which I do appreciate. I think the purple does look better with the corruption effects, but I am biased because I like the color blue, so I'm only a little bit biased here. Yes, they're blowing steam. It's either steam or it's like a frozen mist for that trap. It's not exactly clear to me. I can't... Well, actually, hold on. Can I just do one of these? This might be an unnecessary way to get up here. Probably other ways to get up here. There's treasure everywhere. Well, actually, maybe not. I was thinking maybe there was a teleport or something, but maybe not. It makes me wonder if there's other areas like this, but... So cool. The downside is that there is a cooldown. I'm pretty sure there's a cooldown with that ability, so you can't just spam it. It's weird though, because there's a cooldown. You can't spam it, but there's also a minimum amount of distance you have to fall to be able to use it. So you can't just, like, jump and slam the ground. You have to jump from a very high distance. And there's very rarely is there a chance... Oh my freaking god, I just got poisoned. Very rarely is there a time when I'm in combat and I'm jumping down like that and there's bad guys behind me or underneath me. Sometimes it happens, but not very often. So it's very much a sometimes thing. Also, yeah, that's really well hidden. Because, like, yeah, you're approaching this area from afar, you see the chest, you go, Oh, hell yeah. And you go right for it. Don't even see this thing. Got my ass on that one. Freaking got my ass. That's okay. That's okay. Let's go ahead and head out this way. Ooh, lots of good ones. Not so much that one, but this one's good. Because I pretty much deal exclusively in power attacks. Power attacks meaning you hold the mouse button down for maximum damage and maximum energy usage too, mind you. It's a trade-off like many things. Also, this appears to be a combat-free zone. I just noticed that none of the things I'm doing are draining AP. That's always the way to know. Are there bad guys in the room you're in? Because if there are bad guys in the area, then your EP does drain when you swing your sword, when you jump, that kind of thing. Right now, you can see the blue bars aren't going down at all because there's just a non-combat zone. Cooldown time, sure, I'll take it. Once again, I feel like I've not been doing the best about actually using my cooldown abilities the bestest. So, good reminder that those exist and I should use them better. So those doors I don't think open. I just broke some shit. Yeah, big shockwave. Okay, there's another potion down there, which is good. I'll go and drink my current one. Anything else back this way? No. Okay. Grab that potion. Oh, another potion. Oh, dang. You're too good to be, game. Pretty sure the one I saw was the second one, then. Double check, then. What's up, Agasso? Agasso, do you like how I did see your message? You were like, Alex, post the schedule. And you're like, I wrote you. And I was like, you're right, I will. And then I went live and I forgot to post the schedule. It occurred to me like after I started, I was like, shit, I never actually posted it. I've been kind of scrambling this evening. I was running a little bit late, so I was like trying to take care of business. By business, I mean work stuff. Lame, but that's okay. Everything's cool now. I will drink the potion. I'll slurp the glurp. Oh gosh, this is a good job. At least I read the message. At least I read the DM and responded in kind. So that's like, you know how people say if you're working on a project and it's a project that like requires a lot of time and effort and work, they say that you're not supposed to tell people. It's not like you have to be like secretive about it, but it's not productive to talk about said project. Like if it's a project that requires discipline and sticking to it, that kind of thing, the life hack is to not talk about it, because our brains do this weird fucky thing where if we are grinding away at something and it requires a lot of time and effort and it's really hard and we tell people about it at length, it tickles the same part of our brain that gets tickled when we do work and when we accomplish things. So there's this goofy thing that our brains do where we are less productive when we talk about something. Like when we talk about doing a thing, we're less inclined to actually do the thing, because our brain gets like the happy chemicals from like, no, I already did work. I already did it. It's fine. Whereas nothing got done. You just talked about it. So ultimately what I'm getting at, Agasso, is by responding to the DM, but not actually following up on it, means, according to my brain, I'm already good. I've already done what I needed to. To Alex's brain, we're sitting real pretty. And I mean, what's the act of streaming other than just one extremely elongated ego trip to make your brain feel better, to stroke one's ego. So, the way I see it, we're good. We Gucci, baby. We're golden. No, but I do need to post a schedule. Part of it, actually, there was a point where I was actually not sure I was going to stream tonight, so I was kind of like waiting up until the last minute. That was also part of my hesitancy. Ooh, sleepy boys. I noticed that sometimes the enemies are like chilling when you happen upon them. I wonder if there's of course I never play as the stealth character, but I wonder if there's a way where you can like legit do a sneak attack on them in that case. and like remain stealthy. Oh, it is ice. And I have ice. Oh, you're fucking frozen. Oh, now you're dead. Damn, dude, 2,000 damage. That goes to show. Freezing an enemy like that, or hitting them while they're frozen, is the biggest of big damage. But yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to stream tonight. As far as, like, the rest of the week, I don't think we're going to do a Wednesday stream. I know lately I've been going really ham on, like, extra streams. Oh. Oh, that was weird. I hit that guy the same time he hit me. I thought maybe I hit myself or something. Yeah, we're doing lots of extra streams lately because I've been trying to, like, wrap up a bunch of dare drop campaigns. And those are about to run pretty dry for a bit. There's maybe 1 or 2 games I'm kind of maybe considering, but none like this game where I was like, oh my god, I definitely got to snipe this one. So we're going to be doing a lot less of the dare drop stuff, probably fairly soon. Which means that'll let me, you know, focus on getting caught up on other things, which won't have, you know, any like timeliness to them, because that's the one downside of the dare drop stuff, is they have the campaigns have a limited amount of time. So that means getting caught up on Unholy, getting caught up on Aliens Dark Descent, going back and finishing Diluvian Ultra. There's a couple non-dare drop kind of publisher streamer opportunities that I'm kind of looking at, maybe sniping, but yeah, nothing that I've signed on for. So you know, we'll kind of be a free agent for a bit, which would be good. Aliens Dark Descent, that's right. When I'm stroking my ego, Twitch is usually not the place. Understandable. Yeah, there are, you know, potentially better choices for websites for ego strokage. Or stroking something, I guess. Although, you know, that's, at least if we want to talk about the ego thing, I guess, talking about ego things and talking about stroking, you know, that's always something to remind yourself. Like, remind yourself that there's always a non-zero chance. Like, the chance is never zero. That 0% chance that there's somebody thinking about you and masturbating at this exact moment. Now, I'm not going to say it's a definite thing. I'm not saying that, like, someone's definitely fapping to you right now. But I'm just saying the chance of somebody doing that is never not zero. It's never 0%. So, like, that's, like, a nice way to, like, feel good about yourself. Like, yeah, I might be someone's, like, I might be someone's wet dream. Or even a waking wet dream. Wet awareness. Wet consciousness. So, if you're ever feeling down on yourself, if you're ever, you know, feeling insecure, just remember that. Remember that little detail. Like, you really don't know. You really don't know. It could be multiple people simultaneously in the same room, even. Okay, probably not that one, but who knows? It's kind of it's a good self-reassurance kind of thing in my book. Nothing else that really cool ability right there does seem to negate fall damage, so I'll take it. On to the next perk. I'll snipe it. In the same room. Well, no, not in the same room as you. I mean, multiple people diddling themselves in the same room as each other. Like, you know, they're both enjoying your existence together. But then I was like, okay, maybe not. That's too much, Alex. Too much. Dial it back. Dial it back. More damage, more EP costs? Yes. I'll take it. It's worth it. I think it's worth it. Also, I did notice we did level up. Oh, he's bad. Good. Fell Scout Turpin. More like Derpin. Oh, yeah, get fucking crit on you, nerd. We, like, made him sad. He, like, did an attack. He seemed confused. So I'm just gonna be bullying you this whole time. Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. This is probably a really hard guy to fight for any other class, but for us, it's like it was meant to be. That one was like created for us in a lab. Oh, someone's throwing spells at us. I one-shot that guy? You kidding me? That's pretty sick. I wasn't expecting that, but I'm not complaining. Bam. That's a quick room, my goodness. Now, I just noticed that we leveled up earlier, but we did not get any more EP, energy points. So when you level up, you get more HP, maximum HP, but you don't get maximum EP. Diddling themselves thinking about you right now, staring at you from the window. I'd be impressed because I don't really have... I do have a window in this basement that leads, you know, that looks into this basement, but it's one of those kind of basement windows where it's very opaque. You really can't see through it. It lets light in, but you can't, like, see through it. So you'd have a hard time making out any details unless that's the point. Unless they're aroused by the idea of me, but not by, like, the visual aspect. Maybe they're like, no, I don't want to look at him. I just want to know he's there. Like I'm saying EP? Well, you know what? When our character runs out of energy points, EP, our character probably does get kind of EP. Because it means you're out of energy. And when I'm out of energy, I get very EP. I need big nappy naps by that point. This is a good one. I would say... Actually, no, this is probably the least exciting one. Dash range increases, does more damage. I would say this one. Deals more damage. That name again is Mr. Plow. Right, don't run into that thing, Alex. Now, with that disarm, will this guy still blow shit at me? No, he will not. I was very much ready for it. More glyphs. The internet, by the way, very much has ruined me with the word kitten. I mean, we were joking about this last night, the whole thing where it's like you go into a streamer's chat or a YouTuber's video comment section and you're like, hey man, just want to let you know your videos really cheered me up. The streams really cheered me up. I've been kind of down lately. My Roblox kitten left me. And as a man in his late 50s, I can tell you that's really hard to go through. Like, that shitpost has reminded me of, like, the whole, like, video, I don't know, internet kitten thing. Like, it's not that I didn't know it existed. I just kind of forgot about it. It kind of went into the recesses of my brain. Probably where it belongs. And, but I've been reminded that it's a thing. And now the word kitten is ruined for me. Until I forget about it again. Because yes, there's other words for it, but I don't know. It's such a good shitpost. Because you know how it is, man. If you're on YouTube, you're reading the comment section. If you're a streamer, you're checking the comments or the chat messages, whatnot. And yeah, you see a comment that starts with something along the lines of, yeah, I've been feeling kind of down lately. And your brain goes into sympathy mode because, you know, people sometimes have a hard time. And Lord knows I do. I go to, you know, content creators, rather, you know, I like watch videos or watch streams, take my mind when, you know, shit stresses me out. So it's like, yeah, we all do that, right? Well, maybe not all of us, but I certainly do. So you go to sympathy mode, then you keep reading, and then you get to a point where you go, now wait a goddamn second. This is not wholesome at all. Well, sometimes holes are involved, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's a good bamboozle, as we say in the industry. Also, from what I can tell, this appears to be a non-combat zone for now, as my attacks are costing me nothing. I will drink the regular potion and slurp down, or keep the medium potion on hand. I will take the gold. I will leave that for now. Heard a noise just now. Made me a little bit nervous. Another medium What's with all these potions? Where were these earlier when I could have used them? The heck, man? The game is being so generous with potions when I'm very, very fine on health. We also just got a vampiric perk, which helps us heal as we deal damage. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 potions in one room. That is bananas. Positively bananas. Bananas. It feels like I'm saying banan years. Maybe there's a potassium themed Steely Dan cover band and all their song titles and lyrics have been like, you know, rewritten to be pro potassium. There's a fifth one right here. So that would make reeling in the years be reeling in the banana years, maybe. Surely there's other potential things that could be done. That is also extremely accurate. The game was it was trying not to tell me. It was like, how do we tell him? Is the game trying to let me down easy? What's up, Aaron? The strongest potions. Here's another strongest 6 potions in one room. What the fuck? It would have been easier for them to have just, I don't know, give me a full heal station. But instead, they're giving us a 7th potion. Or 6th? I don't fucking know. I'm losing track. I'm losing track and I'm losing my marbles. Steely Dan, K Dan. Yeah, Steely K. I'm trying to think of other banana or potassium themed things that could be done. Now the thing is, when people say think potassium, they usually think bananas. But you know, in all fairness, and yes, bananas are a nice source of potassium. My understanding is that avocados are an even more potassium-rich food, which of course has some positive. Like people talk about, like, you know, foods that are fatty, like avocados have like good, like a healthy kind of fat to them. Power attacks do lots of shit. Yeah, I like this one a lot because I don't do light attacks. I only do power attacks. So yes, I'm a little bit sad about the walloping charm. I like that a lot. Or no, discerning charm, that is. I like that a lot, but yeah, discerning, or the walloping one is the good shit. Because our power attacks are what I'm spamming. Especially now that we have cleave. I mean, my god, cleave is amazing. Such a good ability. Here's another one. What the hell, man? And this part of what's such a bummer about the potion thing, or silly about it rather, is that I can't go back and pick these back up once we leave this room. Whenever you leave a room, a barrier shuts behind you and you can go no further. Or can't go no further. You can not retrace your steps. So it's not like I can go back and grab these potions. I can only hold one with me. Of course, this would be really nice if like a party of 4 were to be in this room. Then everybody could, you know, heal up, get their stuff. You're all good to go. Combat ability. I think I'll stick with this one, actually. We don't see a lot of acolytes. It's not yet. But yeah, this ability right here that like causes a little like shockwave to go out. That cleave ability is so good. So incredibly good. So that means I have all the reason, all the incentive to only use power attacks. In fact, if I click this, okay, we have heavy hitter. Yeah, normal difficulty. Oh, here we go. Is it abilities? How do I see my perks? Because I took a bunch of perks. That's weird. I thought there was a way to like kind of get a breakdown of all the stuff you got. Here we go. So, okay, character perks versus weapon perks. There we go. Yeah, so just better damage. Things are expensive at better damage. Then power attacks do more damage. And then power attacks do the cone ability. Now we have this charm. So, yeah, we're just kind of really gearing ourselves up towards big, slow, stupid attacks that hit like a goddamn dump truck. Oh, never actually went down that way. Don't mind if I diddly do. Bananarama. Okay, you're right. You got me there. So maybe they've already got the potassium flavored band ecosystem already covered. What's up, Flashay? I like how at one point I asked Flashay, I was like, wait, is it Flashay or Flechette? And he was like, well, usually it's Flechette, but I like the French flair you're applying to it. And I'm like, yes, I'm so sophisticated. That's why I do it. Look at this guy. He's AFK, that's why he's facing the wall. You guys remember that shit? FTW, face the wall. Back in like the days of FPSs, if you had to go AFK mid-round, for like, you know, maybe 5, maybe 10 seconds, you could face the wall, and that was like the indicator that you weren't at your computer. You know, you were away from your keyboard. And it was like kind of a good faith thing. It was kind of a way to indicate to, you know, to adversary gamers, like, no, I'm away from my keyboard. You know, if it's like a good sportsmanship thing to not attack someone with their FTW. Got one barrier lad up there. Yeah, there's still enemies nearby. Now, what do you think? Are these torture devices, like torture device cages, as like a way to punish the evil, or are they sexy go-go dancer cages? Hard to say. I mean, this is a supervillain's super lair we're in right now. And supervillains usually have a vested interest in torturing heroes. They also have a vested interest in, like, employing sexy, you know, vampire ladies and, like, succubuses, that kind of thing, to draw in and tempt the heroes. So, honestly, the jury's out. Can I hit whatever this is? I just smacked something. What did I just do? I exploded something. And the shield went away. Oh, it's those little robot fellas. Surprised I didn't see the numbers of the damage I was doing, but I guess it was enough. Their bolstering charm. Charging halfway across the room just to fuck that dude up. Torture on weekdays, go-go on weekends. Yeah, that is a very sensible schedule. A very sensible schedule to keep. Gotta find a switch that opens these doors. There's a switch dead ahead. These fucking guys. I just came from that way, bro. We'll do the same against your buddy. And just one-shot him. He had some kind of enchantment. I don't know what the enchantment was, because he got instantly. Well, I gotta catch my breath. Then one-shot your face. Alright, now we got archers. Archers are much more scary. Not that scary, but more scary. Yeah, now with this build, we are just cleaving through everything. We're just one-shotting everything, and it's kind of stupid. Not that I'm complaining. Alright, so these doors are open, but this one is still needing a switch. Alright, don't hit this thing. Can I jump up there? Oop. Alright, 2 treasure chests, maybe some more glyphs, maybe? More glyphs, maybe? No glyphs, to the tune of no bitches. That's okay. That's okay, we still, I mean, realistically speaking, I do like this game a lot, and I am, like, happy to keep playing it. But I think after we beat the game, we get the last dares complete, I'll probably put the game down for a bit. We already have power attack. Oh, blasting is what they call it. Deal damage in a line. Huh. In a line as opposed to a cone. Can I have both, or do I? Yeah, I mean, more damage is nice. I'm kind of curious if I can have both. Added to greatsword. Blasting and cleaving. In a cone and in a line. Alright, how's this look? Ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. My god, now we're a ranged character now. I like this game a lot, and I'm happy to keep playing it. But I think after we beat the game and get the last dares knocked out, I'll probably put the game down for a bit. See if the other updates will happen, or, you know, DLC, expansions, that kind of thing. Just because there's other games I want to get to, and other games I want to go back and finish. And, you know, one of the really few, as far as I can tell, downsides to this game, which is a doozy for some people, is that it does get a bit samey after a while. You know, you see a lot of the same enemies, a lot of the same rooms and like dungeons and that and whatnot. And the combat is good, but I mean, it is also a kind of an RPG. And RPGs like this don't usually have like a huge focus on, you know, combat diversity and dynamicness, usually it's, you know, you get numbers and you do numbers against their numbers. That's pretty much it. Not a lot of sophistication behind it. So, but I do like this game a lot, and I'm really grateful I was able to get a review copy of it. So when I first saw it was announced, I was like, this looks dope AF. How many hours so far? I can actually check. I'll give you the live update. Bam! I don't even know how much damage I did to that guy. I just killed him so good. Killed him so strong. So let me check this. The library. I know you can't see what I'm doing right now. I am at 21 hours. 21 hours. My hour amount in this game is almost old enough to drink. And I haven't beat the game yet, and that's splitting my time across primarily 2 characters. I've probably spent like maybe 8 hours. Oh, am I gonna get a crit? Okay, no crits because he was aware of me. We've probably done about 8 hours with this character and 8 hours with Maggie. Well, maybe more like 7 and 7, somewhere around there, because I've done a decent bit of time with the Hunter character. We've done a number of levels with him. And a few levels with Rico, the sneaky boy. Not as many though. I've done the fewest with Rico. But yeah, but so I mean, I haven't really been neglecting any characters. I mean, I have favorites, that's for sure. But that's across multiple characters and playing not really replaying a ton of levels. The only time I've really replayed something is if I was playing with friends, and you know we were kind of like with Unstable, for instance, because his first time playing was streaming with us, and by that point we had already played the game for like, you know, 10-12 hours. So, you know, we replayed a couple levels with him just to kind of, you know, get his feet wet, that kind of thing. Oh my god, I got that. That's how it. I was looking to see, like, is there a tripwire? Where is it? It was tied to this thing. Gosh dang it. That's okay. We got an extra potion. Take that one. Slurp it. So yeah, so not a lot of replaying the same levels or anything. Certainly not grinding. I mean, you could if you wanted to. And I guess if you wanted to level everything up to max, you kind of would have to do some grinding in this game. Especially with getting glyphs. Because you need a lot of glyphs to level up the armory all the way. That takes a long time to do. So, if you're trying to like 100% the game, yeah, it'd be a bit of a grind, honestly. Time to head to bed. Sounds good, auto exec. Got an early morning, early rise. I totally get it, man. Totally get it. But thank you for hanging out, bud. Yeah, no, I started the stream kind of late tonight. As I was telling folks earlier, I wasn't sure I was actually not sure I was going to stream tonight, because I had a couple things I was trying to wrap up on, some work stuff, that kind of thing. But at one point I was like, nah, I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay to stream, because even if it's a shorter stream, it's worth it. Still enjoyable. I always have a good time. Any evening when I get to stream is a good evening in my book. And yeah, we are doing the dare giveaways fairly soon. Probably not doing them tonight, because the one dare we have left, and it is just one dare, is to complete the game, beat the boss in multiplayer mode. So I can't do it solo, obviously. Beat the game in multiplayer mode, and there's apparently a point in the final boss where like one hero is selected for the cutscene. And if your hero is the one picked for the cutscene, then that completes the dare. So that's what we're working on tonight. But thank you though, auto exec. Appreciate you hanging out, buddy. Razor's Edge. We haven't really needed that one quite as much. But we also haven't had, I think, any damage over time. So we'll pick this one in case things get weird. Hopefully they won't. Or less movement cost, maybe? Nah, we'll have this as a contingency. That's if things get spicy, then we'll use that. Also, I can sell a few things. Let's sell that one. I'll keep the defense one. do you guys got for sale? I'll probably hold off. Whoa, what variety? Exalting Amulet and Exalting Amulet. My goodness. If there was an achievement for drink 10 potions in a single map, we would have that shit so very confidently on lock. That one room where there was like 7 potions, that alone was just hilarious. Yeah, there was one trinket. I think I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna sell it. And then I'm gonna grab the other one. And we're going to go to the next room. I'm not usually huge into min-maxing like this, you know, trying to maximize the amount of money dropped, that kind of thing. But it takes like 10 seconds. Might as well. I certainly wouldn't want to go back through multiple rooms. Like, scavenge everything. I did used to do that in Diablo back in the day. I would, like, revisit old dungeons after I've cleared them out. And, like, just gather a bunch of crap, sell it back in town. Rinse, repeat. Just min-max as much gold as possible. In Diablo 1, I like to think it was a little bit more sensible, because in Diablo 1, gold was not as plentiful. Diablo 2, not so much. In Diablo 2, you're really never struggling for gold beyond the first 2 hours of the game. You get past level 5, you're fine. Affording potions, that kind of thing, is not a problem in Diablo 2. Certainly if you're playing hardcore, because if you die, then you're dead. What's up, RT? This force is a myth. I mean, maybe that's what the non-believers in Star, like, you know, in Star Wars, that kind of thing would lead you to believe. He still got the shot off. A little sad about that. Can I do one of these? Get fucking poisoned on, you nerd. Fuck you. Didn't actually bother them that much. Didn't do that much damage. Oh, did I just one-shot the fire lady? That fire lady really said, I'm here and I've got something to say, and then I killed her instantly. Now, normally she is a tough cookie. Or they are tough cookies. Just freeze you real quick and kill you to death. But all these attacks cost a lot of energy points. A lot of EP. A lot of EP. And fuck you, lady. Yeah, I killed her in one shot. Hell yeah. Yeah, our build is kind of stupid right now. Our first attempt at this level, we died in the first room. Like a chump. As I was woefully unprepared. And I was not in the right spirit realm of being able to handle this game. Or this level, at least. But then the second attempt, right afterwards, we've got some very good... I'll take that. Got some very good perks and some very good equipment. We're feeling how this guy looks. Strong and holding... What is that? Like a bowling ball or something? What do you have in your arm there? I don't know. I wonder how this guy thinks about himself. Do you think he has an inflated ego at all? Surely he doesn't. It's good to see you, by the way, RT. Bunch of paintings of himself. Ouch. Bunch of paintings of himself. A bunch of... Dude, please. Trying to get a fully charged up power attack. There we go. Sculptures, the whole 9 yards. I wonder how he really thinks. When you can't be accused of you know, suffering from self-confidence issues. Bam. 80s kind of She-Ra vibes. I think that is very much intentional. Yeah, usually when people ask, what the hell is Mythforce? I usually tell them it is Saturday morning cartoon, RPG, roguelike, with co-op and like first person mode. It's basically the gist. The Saturday morning cartoon vibes are especially very noteworthy in the cutscenes. Yeah, the one downside is you don't really get a ton of cutscenes in this game. You get one at the beginning of every chapter. And I'm guessing we'll probably get one at the very end as well. But yeah, we don't get a ton of cutscenes, which is kind of a bummer because I think the art style is very fun. And the cutscenes they do have are very charming and lighthearted, so But at the same time, I get it because that thing costs money. You know, it's budget. Animations, voice acting, the whole 9 yards. So I'm not too sad. Perfect block, I never do those. Movement speed. That would be a not bad idea. But the blocking or parrying thing would be less useful. Second wind might be nice. I'll take second wind. Cell shading. How Borderlands was developed. Well, yeah, well, for a lot of us, when we think Borderlands, we think cell shading. Is it that it was not originally meant to have cell shading for Borderlands? Because I assume that was there by design, you know, from the get-go. But if they... So we have Mighty and Magic Resistant. And they are dead. Never mind. We quickly dispatched them and got hella gold from it. Yeah, well, a lot of us, when we think Borderlands, we think the overall aesthetic and visual design. So yeah, if it wasn't originally meant to have cell shading, then that is surprising because it seems like it works so well for the series. It looked bad. Oh wow. So it just looked rough. They wanted to spruce it up a little bit, huh? I mean, cell shading is, you know, I recognize is not a, you know, a one-size-fits-all solution. You know, it is a cool visual style, but it's not always going to be appropriate, and not everybody likes it. I mean, God, so many of us remember all of the criticisms for Zelda, which is to say, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. When that game was announced, some people were excited, other people were big madge. They were big madge, partly because they felt a little bit hoodwinked by the I shouldn't say Twilight Prince, that's not the right word, but like the trailer that was shown in E3 one year for like, it was like a tech demo. It was like a tech demo E3 thing for the GameCube, I think. They were like, it was when they announced the GameCube and they showed a couple tech demos, and one of those tech demos was a like Link fighting Ganondorf kind of cutscene. Very well animated, very well choreographed. That was closer in the styling to what would eventually become Twilight Princess. And a lot of people saw that and went, "Oh shit, that's a new Zelda game they're working on. It looks cool AF. I can't wait." It looked like Ocarina of Time, but just nicer graphics, basically. And then they announced Wind Waker, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, the fuck!" And they were so mad because you know, on the one hand, some of them felt hoodwinked, but on the other hand, that was not a game announcement. That was just a look at this cool tech demo. The GameCube is capable of producing mind-boggling effects. That's basically what they were getting at. So, some people were big mad about Wind Waker. I even have one friend, that still, after all these years, refuses to play it. And I'm like, bro, you are doing yourself a disservice. The game is, it's one of the best Zelda games for my money. And, well, Alex, don't you like all the Zelda games? Yes, I do. I'm not a fanboy. No, of course not. No, I'm a Zelda fanboy. I like all the Zelda games. But for my money, I really do think Wind Waker is one of the best. I really do think that. So yeah, I get it. It's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. I mean, with Wind Waker especially, some people are like, "Oh, it looks like this is games for babies. It looks like it's for kids. You know, it's like too immature, that kind of thing." But I love it. I love it. One of the most respected games in the franchise. Yep, it helped the aging. That's a good point too. I think the game has aged quite well. I think it absolutely has. I'd imagine Borderlands probably will age well visually, relatively speaking. That's a fair point to mention as well. Yeah, it is a good game. It's a very good game. 100% agreed. What's up, Eagles? Wind Waker HD, absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. Wind Waker, for my money, is I think one of the best Zelda games. It is not a perfect Zelda game, because yeah, the late game in Wind Waker is kind of rough. I'm gonna take Perfectionist so I can do even more damage. Yeah, Wind Waker is so cool, but like the late game is a bit of a grind, a little rough around the edges, and like the Triforce. Can I get these guys through the wall? No, I cannot. The Triforce maps, basically. I thought that section was just a little bit long in the tooth, long in the teethers. That's kind of cool. It didn't actually cost me anything to do that because it didn't hit any bad guys, so it quickly refills. That's kind of nice. But yeah, the HD version though cleans up all that. Quality of life changes absolutely. You get the faster sail. The Triforce map sequences so much smoother, much less of a grind, so much easier to find what you're looking for, but still like not making it so that it's trivial. Of course, the graphics are beautiful. The touchscreen controls, I think, work exceedingly well. Really, the only downside of Wind Waker HD is that it's only on the Wii U, which means that most people unfortunately can't play it, which is a shame because, yeah, it is what I would call the definitive version of Wind Waker because it kept all the stuff that is good about that game and either left it alone or made it look better, and then took all the stuff that was maybe a little weak and spruced it up a little bit. That's like what a proper re-release, remaster, whatever you want to call it. For me, that's what a proper, definitive version should do. It's different when it's a remake, if you're remaking a game from the ground up, but when you're one to like do an enhanced port, that's like the best you could hope for is, let's improve stuff, but let's also not overdo it. So I like it. I like it a lot. A lot. Look at this little guy. He's gonna try and steal something from me, but we're gonna kill him in one hit. Okay, we're not gonna kill her in one hit because she's resistant to ice. We're doing very little damage to her.
Every joint aches with cold.
So we'll do this, and we're gonna knock her down. Bonk.
I'm slow as molasses.
Ouch.
This will
I'm
take
frozen
a
now.
while.
Oof. To say she had one hit left. Good thing good thing we have a lot of HP right now, because that was actually kind of tough. The fact that she was resistant to ice was really painful. These guys, not so much. Is there a trap I can lead them into? It seems like a thing where a trap would be, but I don't think there is. Bam. This place is hopping. Of course, we are nearing the end of this level. I might explain why there's so much action. So much action. Borderlands came out. Oh, modding some weapons. I'm guessing this is Borderlands 1. I'm guessing. I guess this is because like in Borderlands 1, if they didn't do a lot of like server side checks for that kind of stuff, you're able to just kind of modify weapons on your end. I think it's what people did back in the day of like Diablo 1. To make like modded weapons. It's probably how people did it. It was just learning how to do like hex editing. Then there's emulation. There is emulation. Yeah, there is emulation. I would imagine finding the HD version, the Wii U version of Wind Waker, and actually, what is the Wii U emulator? Is it Simu? Whatever it is, there probably is a Wii U emulator. So I'm sure there's ways to make it work. I don't know. I'm never one to poo-poo emulation because in some cases it's the only option you have. For some consoles that just are not available anymore. Sometimes it's the only choice. But for me personally, though, if I can get away with not emulating, I would rather not do it. I would rather not do it if I can, if possible. Emulation is so oftentimes a pain in the ass for me. Like, you have to find the right controller. You have to map the controller settings. The analog stick sensitivities, always takes a lot of tweaking. There's always glitches. No, not always, but a lot of times there's glitches. There's some games that just don't emulate well. Or don't emulate at all. Like some games, some games don't work on certain emulators. So like, say if you're trying to play on BizHawk, for instance, for the N64. Well, it's for several emulators. but you're trying to play some games on BizHawk, but you want to play Buck Bumble, or you want to play Pokemon Puzzle League. When you fire up BizHawk and you load those 2 games, and suddenly neither of the games are working at all, you go, what the fuck, bro? It's because those games don't work in the simulators. You gotta use Project 64 or one of the other ones. And it's like, well, shit, I've got my whole setup geared towards this one emulator, and I gotta install a whole other one. It's just a pain in the ass. But again, sometimes it's your only option. So sometimes it is a necessary pain in the ass. That's a bummer. Then there's D-Makes. There are D-Makes. Yeah, there's the fan-made D-Makes. One for Dead Space. Yeah. I know that one. Yeah, there's some really cool ones. Really cool fan-made D-Makes. Got banned from Xbox. Oh, okay. It's from modding a different game. The Wii U is $50. I mean, yeah, getting a used Wii U is easy, but you know, it's for somebody. If that emulation in that case would be more for someone who doesn't want to fuck with having to buy a whole another console just to play one game. Because yeah, that's kind of silly. Obviously, you know, buying a whole console just to play one game, even if it is only $50. It's just a lot. Because of course the Wii U, you need a separate power cable to charge the battery on the tablet controller, separate power outlet, separate AC charger for the actual console itself. I mean, it's just a pain in the ass. And I like the touchscreen controls, but not everybody does. What's up, Praxis? Rage Against an actual machine. I want to be able to feel the controller break in my hands when I spike it on the ground. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to break a controller. It could be fiddly, yeah. That's a good point, too. Yeah, and that's the other thing, too. Although it requires a lot of extra tomfoolery, you can gain extra things with those tomfoolery. Because, yeah, that's how we played Metroid Prime. We played with Prime Hack, which allows mouse and keyboard controls, nicer textures, smoother frame rate, like all these nicer benefits that you definitely don't get playing on hardware, on original hardware. Now, granted, this was before the remastered version of Metroid Prime 1 became available. But even then, it doesn't, of course, have mouse and keyboard controls. But it is on you know, officially sanctioned Nintendo hardware, so it's just ready to go out of the box. So, yeah, it really is just kind of all... It really is a... it's a trade-off, you know, for a lot of things and for a lot of people. And for me, personally, some of those trade-offs are not always worth it. And it's just... It's more of a pain than it needs to be. Below half HP. I think I'm just gonna do better cleaving. Fatal Frame on an emulator, and the Final Fight locked up. Yeah, some games don't emulate well, and sometimes their emulation struggles don't become apparent until some point in the game, where like it crashes on a certain cutscene. And then you have like games where sometimes there are multiple discs. That can be a whole nother mess. So yeah, some games are really tricky. Now this is not Alex trying to proselytize against emulation. I've streamed many games that I've emulated, so sometimes that's your only option. It's just the unfortunate reality. When I eventually get around to Silent Hill 2, original Silent Hill 2, I will only be able to emulate it. It's just the reality of the situation. Yeah, SNES, yeah. Yeah, the older consoles. Yeah, I know what you mean, Praxis, yeah. Yeah, SNES, yeah. Some platforms are pretty easy to emulate, yeah. Yeah, they get weird on portables, yeah. Yeah, if you're trying to play a Super Nintendo game, Genesis game, NES, I mean, yeah, you have a plethora of really good emulators. You know, you have a plethora of very good emulators that are like battle-worn and have been around forever. And have had a bajillion updates and are just super good. And of course, it's just, you know, it's simpler hardware you're trying to emulate and simpler software you're trying to emulate. Trying to run, rather. So, yeah, it's just a simpler ecosystem. Whereas you go to N64, PS1, not only is it, of course, 3D graphics and, you know, trickier hardware, but it's also diverging into different, like, philosophies of how the two consoles were implemented. Because, of course, the N64 was cartridge-based. PlayStation was disc-based. They both used memory cards, but they had, you know, like different kinds of different kinds of architecture with how the games use them. So I don't know, it gets complicated, and that's of course just PS1 and 64. PS2 emulation. You know, we of course did play Skate 3, and that was with the PS3 emulator. It worked pretty well. It did take quite a lot of time off stream getting it set up, so it took a lot of tinkering to make it work well. But like that worked pretty well once it was up and running. So it's, you know, if you're able to put in the time, willing and able to put in the time and effort to make it work, then yeah, emulation can work. But for some people, it's like, man, I only have so much, you know, free time to these things. I'd rather just plug in something, have it go, and be off to the races. And I'm willing to spend, you know, an extra $50 on, you know, on a copy of the game, or you know, $10 if it's like a digital eShop game, you know, like one of those. Well, I guess virtual consoles are really a thing anymore, but back for a while, their virtual console was actually a really nice way around having to use emulation, because, you know, $10 for an eShop game or a virtual console game was much more easy to go for than, you know, 3 hours trying to get my emulator to not crash on load on startup. Yeah, Fatal Frame. I've never played any Fatal Frame games, but they look really cool. And of course, we are in spooky season. We are in spooky season right now, so that would be a fun one to delve into. Yeah, that's one nice thing about the Wii U, is that it apparently is quite easy to mod. The Wii as well, but I've heard that the Wii U has a lot of cool modding options. What's up, Alex? Would you stream a car? I would download a car if I could. You wouldn't download a car. Fuck you, I would if I could. I reject your reality. Do you substitute your own praxis? I would download a car. I wouldn't do anything with it. I would download it just to say that I've done it, and then I would delete it. Because then I'd have to like 3D print the car. That's too much work. That's too much work. But I would download it just for bragging privileges. And I'm nervous. Anytime I see a chest by itself, I back up instinctively, worrying that it's gonna spew poison into my ass. The processor handles memory. Yeah, that's the thing. I was legit surprised. I was legit surprised that that I was able to get the PS3 emulator up and running. I said exactly that. I'd heard that emulating the PS3, or not, well, I mean emulating it, yes, but I've heard that the PS3 architecture was so wild and hard to develop for. I just assumed that the emulation would be a mess, but that actually worked pretty well. I was pretty happy about that. Yeah, soft modding, yeah. Yeah, there was, what was it, Gecko OS was like a big one for the Wii. I'm guessing there's probably something like that for the Wii U as well. Gaming status, it's complicated. Now, one console that apparently is nigh impossible to emulate is original Xbox. My understanding is that it's getting better. My understanding is that they're getting there. It's like still a slow go. There are official. There are, yeah, nothing's official obviously, but there are Xbox emulator, original Xbox emulator modding communities that are slowly cracking away at it. Emphasis on slowly though. Apparently it's quite the bear. Of all things, right? You would think, oh well, it's, you know, analogous to the PS2 and the GameCube. How bad could it be? But yeah, apparently it's really, really complicated. Mind, everybody we know, we're either non-local or non-real. I mean, I'm definitely not real. I mean, I am an extremely elaborate VTube setup that's just made to look like a real human person. Reality not assured. There you go. I didn't inhale of piracy. Wait, what was it? What was it? Something I said? I was around the Wii, but I didn't inhale it. Cause no, I mean I've definitely emulated. I've definitely emulated before. Now it would be violating TOS to, like, you know, offer instructions on here's how you get ROMs. As you can talk about emulation all day on Twitch, but the second you, like, you know, get into, oh yes, I went to insert website here and downloaded copyright protected content file name here, that's when it's a TOS violation. So I have to be careful about that kind of stuff, obviously. Where's the way out of here, by the way? Did I just walk by it? Because I expected it to be out this way. Maybe I gotta go back a few more rooms. Mod of the OG Xbox. Yeah, I don't know much about the original Xbox as far as like modability, that kind of thing. Is it down here? I'm sure it is moddable because I mean, there we go. I'm pretty sure it had USB ports. So if a thing has USB ports, it's gonna be easier to mod compared to others. So, but yeah, apparently emulating it is tricky. Not a ton of reasons to emulate an Xbox. You're right, not as many. Not as many. I mean, it was trickier, I think, when like Halo Custom Edition was the best way to play Halo 1. And I guess the weird Windows Live version, or Games for Windows version of Halo 2. There's others that will like haven't really appeared anywhere else, like Fusion Frenzy and Crimson Skies. You know, games that, to my knowledge, have not been ported anywhere. But you're right, there's fewer of those. So yeah, there's less of a reason for it, but it's more for like the sake of completion, you know? And like documenting like historical, for historic purposes, versions of games that, you know, maybe were ported to other consoles, but the Xbox version has something unique about it that, you know, makes it significant and worth keeping around. So it's more for the sake of completion than for a lot of practicality. That's kind of how it is for some emulation. You know, sometimes emulation is not because these games are games that thousands and millions of people are going to play. It's because these games are going to go away eventually. This is software that people made. You know, this is a product that was developed by hardworking people, and it's going to just disappear into the ether once the last copy is sold on eBay. So it's more for like the principle of, at least that's how I see emulation. It's more for the principle of this, you know, this information should be available. You know, it should be ideally freely available even. I know that's an extreme thing to say, but oh, I downloaded a, that I didn't inhale. It's just too much work. It's too much work to like 3D print and assemble a car. I don't know how cars work. You kidding me? All I know about cars is I step on the pedal, it go. I step on other pedal, it don't go. That's about it. I turn the steering wheel a couple times. I stick my penis in the tailpipe. That's about all I know about car. So I don't want to be responsible for building a car. I just want to have the file on my hard drive, take a screenshot, send it to my boys, and then be like, all right, now I will delete this multi-terabyte file that is probably enormous. And then for modding games, yeah, exactly. Download a Spark of Life. Download a Soul. Here's a link to a BIOS. Yeah. That's a. I mean, you joke. I mean, I've seen people just kind of throw that shit around their live streams, and I'm over here like, oh, I mean, the honest truth of the matter is that if you're a small streamer, you're probably not going to get busted, but still, is that a gamble you want to take? That's kind of what it comes down to. Like we were saying earlier about multi-streaming. There has yet to be a noteworthy case of somebody getting banned off of Twitch for multi-streaming to YouTube and Kick, you know, like any of these non-mobile first platforms. But the minute they start seeking out those cases, you know, and of course it's going to be an automated thing, obviously. The minute they start seeking out cases of people getting around those rules and violating TOS in that sense, they will probably start issuing bans. And like, once that happens, do I want to be on the chopping block? So it's like, is that a risk I'm willing to take? So same thing with the BIOS thing, or, you know, talk about emulation. It's kind of hard to track unless somebody were to clip me saying the words, all right, fam, check out my OnlyFans for a link to the Nintendo Switch BIOS you can download for free if you're subscribed to my OnlyFans. Unless, you know, that clip is sent to John Twitch, CEO in chief, then that kind of thing is, you know, it's kind of hard to track, obviously. So like some TOS things it's really not worth being too worried about. If you get your own bio, that's exactly it, Flishay. That's why emulation is perfectly fine to talk about. Like when I did stream Prime Hack, Metroid Prime with mouse and keyboard controls and enhanced visuals, I actually got the ROM myself because I own the Wii trilogy version or the Wii version of the Metroid Prime trilogy. It was really easy to just put that disc in my computer and snag the files, and, you know, of course I read a walkthrough, but it was super easy and it was super legit. So, you know, I didn't have to break any rules, didn't have to... I could actually, you know, show exactly how I did it if I wanted to. If anybody was curious, I could, like, offer a walkthrough on how I did it, and it would be perfectly legit, and it would not break any rules. Now, I don't know so much about BIOSes. That would be probably more involved. And, of course, it's way harder with cartridge-based games. You need specialized hardware to extract a ROM out of a cartridge-based game, but it's not that impossible. It's not that expensive. So, yeah, there's ways to do it, for sure. But, of course, you have to own the game physically. Master Chief Collection, it's very good. Master Chief Collection is very, very good. Yeah, I've only played Halo 1 in the Master Chief Collection so far, but I like it a lot. So modding it was pretty rough. Attach hard drive. Ooh, boy. That sounds like a pain in the ass then. Yeah, that sounds pretty rough then, RT. Check out my only ROMs page. The Steelbook. Unfortunately, the version I have is not the Steelbook. I've got it in a box in the other room, but I think it's just... well, actually, is it? I can't remember. I don't think it's a Steelbook. I think it's just a regular plastic case. I think I missed out on like the first push for those things. Should I go glass cannon and be a dumbass? The answer, I think, is yes. So now I do even more stupid amounts of damage. So to recap, we do heavy hitter where if we're hitting the same guy multiple times. If I were to somehow lose a lot of health, I would do a fuck ton of damage. We do more damage when we take no damage. We have just better damage, we have less HP. And then if we're only doing power attacks, we get 20% more here, 20% more there. And then we do AoE, totaling technically 120. Technically 120 damage, 120% damage in an AoE. That's, of course, if both AoE shapes hit the target, but still, it's pretty stupid. Downloading a BIOS or like sharing a BIOS is an instant court case. If you get caught, yes. If you get caught, absolutely. Drop that one. And keep the others. 75,000 gold, 76,000 gold. Pretty good. I'll nod us to that. The one with the cast of Firefly. Played on stream. Well, now that sounds... Now, wait, hold on. I probably missed the context for this one. Whatever that is, it sounds cool as hell. Vampiric Bracers. Tempting. Large Healing Potion. Tempting. I think I'll stick with what we got. We have a pretty good build going. We still have a lot of HP. Bought a bunch of stuff when things were cheap. Rule of a Rose. I feel like I've heard about this game. I don't know much about it, but that name sounds familiar. Still Sealed. Haunting Ground. Don't know that one. So I'm guessing you're probably a collector then, RT. That's so cool. I had no idea. Like a whole bunch of people from Firefly would have voiced it. ODST makes the most sense because that like seems like it's the most narrative-based Halo game. Which is not exactly a true statement. I mean, all the Halo games have narrative. They all have story. But it seems like ODST in particular has a pretty big focus on like telling a story from the eyes of not John Master Chief, but like, you know, from the eyes of like other soldiers and like other people kind of around the events of Master Chief fucking shit up in the galaxy. And this is not to say that I don't enjoy Master Chief fucking shit up in the galaxy. That is enjoyable, but ODST was kind of a breath of fresh air. Nathan Fillion in it, that's so cool. I've only seen chunks of the game. I've never actually played it myself. One of the great reasons to own the Master Chief Collection is to be able to play those kind of more obscure titles. I'm pretty sure it includes ODST, and I really have no excuse to not play it my own damn self. I know part of the reason why a lot of people didn't play ODST is because it had much less of a multiplayer focus. And of course, for a lot of people, when they think Halo, they think multiplayer. Rightly so. I mean, that's the only way I've played Halo 3 and beyond is exclusively playing multiplayer. I've never touched the single player or anything really after Halo 1 even. I've played a little bit of Halo 2 multiplayer at like friends' houses, but never anything significant. I played a lot more Halo 3 multiplayer at friends' houses, that kind of thing, because I was in college, so it was easier to drive myself around. Whereas Halo 2 came out like when I was still in school, I think. Still high school, so a little bit tougher with that one. Yeah, loved ODST, yeah. Nathan Fillion, Alan Tudyk, yeah. Adam Baldwin, yep, I'm not surprised. That's impressive then. Maybe it just kind of worked out that way by accident, or maybe the developers were just big fans of Firefly. Can't blame them. Who could blame them? Yeah, not a turbo-augmented... Yeah, exactly. Yes, turbo-augmented, scientifically created Nephilim with a spacesuit that masturbates them. Okay, that's not real. That's not real. The Spartan suit does not masturbate Master Chief. That was a very out-of-context thing that like kind of made the rounds for a minute, but it was a very good shitpost. It was a very good shitpost for a good, like, 5 minutes on the internet. Play with other people. I've heard the co-op is pretty cool. Yeah, I guess I should clarify when I say multiplayer, I mean like PvP multiplayer. Yeah, there is co-op. Yeah, I heard the co-op is pretty solid. Silent Cartographer, the Maw. The Maw I think was okay. If we're talking about unsavory Halo levels, most people think the Index, or the library, rather. Was the game that kind of got you back in the game. That's good. That's good. Okay, like it has like constructive, kind of positive association to it. That's good. Yeah, that's how it works sometimes, you know, with video games or TV shows too. TV shows, movies, where you know going through a rough patch, then you know something kind of pricks you up and. Oh, is this a bad guy? It is. Yeah, I actually never noticed that they have a drop shadow. Those guys have a drop shadow when it's a bad guy. That's good to know. Yeah, it's like, yeah, something you watch or you play kind of perks you up and it kind of puts you in a better headspace again. It's like now I have like a nice positive association with this thing I played or this thing I watched. It boosted his testosterone levels, right? That was the basic, like, it was people poring over, like, a single sentence in one of the books. One of the novels. That, like, it didn't say that it masturbates him, but it wasn't saying that it jacks him off, but it was, like, talking about how, yeah, it, like, maximizes testosterone output or something like that. And somebody took that to mean, so does that mean it jacks him off? Oh, shit. And, yeah, for, like, 5 minutes on the internet, for a hot minute, people on Twitter were blowing up, and then eventually, of course, it died down, obviously, once people were like, you guys are a bunch of idiots. But it was funny. It was a funny shitpost. Let's jump down this way, alright. Don't mind if I diddly doos. From the brain. Yeah, I know you'd mentioned that before, RT. You'd experienced some physical trauma.
I've been poisoned.
Oh, fucking hell. I fell for it again. Dang it. Some physical trauma from your time in the military. It's Master Chief is short for masturbator. I mean, I wouldn't be complaining if we could single-handedly revive the conversation around the Spartan suit jacking off Master Chief. If we could single-handedly bring this subject back into the zeitgeist of the internet, of video games, get people talking about it again, and it traces back to my stream, and then our stream blows up overnight. I mean, that's, you know, they always say, whatever works to bring you notoriety, you know, whatever works. I mean, you know, not literally. Don't fucking, you know, murder babies to make yourself noteworthy, but don't fucking, you know, eat children or kill grandma, but, you know, whatever it takes within certain bounds to gain notoriety. No PR is such thing, or bad PR is still PR, right? When under 50 EP. I do this one quite a bit. I swing my sword pretty heavily. Cortana was doing her part. I'm doing my part. So fucking stupid. I love it. Therapy brought you back, RT. Good shit, man. Good shit. That's really nice to hear, RT. I'm glad it was a positive thing. Who's this guy? Who's this fucking fella? Oh. Alright. Time to fuck you up in 2 hits. That guy was so cool looking. And so badass. And then we killed him in record time. Because our build is extraordinarily stupid. Are there more of them? No, just acolytes. Acolytes. Is it acolytes? I think it's acolytes. That's how you pronounce it. I was playing 4D chess. I knew which way you were going to go, homie. Ouch. That's the thing. We have a lot of defense right now, so... Losing 30% of my HP for that glass cannon perk was a pretty easy choice because we have a lot of HP right now. We're doing pretty good. You want to mention RT? I'll leave out the gore. I would say, in a general sense, yeah, probably leaving out the gore is a good idea. But I mean, I'm happy to, you know, to hear whatever you want to share. But yeah, probably leave out the gross stuff, just because it doesn't bother me too much. But I would imagine that's kind of a sensitive thing for some folks. Played safe in that regard. But no, I mean, yeah, whatever you're comfortable sharing when it comes to, you know, the trauma you would have experienced in the military, that kind of thing. You know what, while you were in the service. It's a personal thing, of course, and for some people it takes a long time to kind of build back towards a feeling of normalcy again. So I hope it's been alright for you in the years since. It was the thing again recently. Well, we can bring it back, Eagles. Can I eat kids if I don't want to be famous? I would say it's probably hard to eat children and not get people's attention. The attention you might be getting might be of, you know, the fucking FBI. Or you know, a local detectives at your local precinct. At least, at minimum. So you'll gain attention. You know, you'll have news articles written about you. It might not be what you're down for, so child eater beware of what you're getting yourself into. Is what I would say to that. There we go, baby. Still working through it, yeah. Yeah, it's annoying. I'm sure annoying is an understatement. I'm sure there are times where it's fucking frustrating. But I would imagine it's probably a work in progress, like many things. Good being able to talk about it. That's good. That's good that, yeah, it's that being able to talk about it is hopefully not a negative thing. But like I said, I tried to really emphasize that I would never want to pry just because it's not my place to do so. But happy to hear, you know, with whatever you're comfortable sharing. I'm never gonna like throttle someone and be like, tell me about your trauma. Tell me about your personal things that you're working through. If you don't want to, it's not okay. You need to tell me anyway. I'm never gonna, you know, pull that shit. Oh, there's other, yeah, and I get that too. Yeah, for some people it can be distressing, especially if they themselves are working towards something or working through something. That one agent cute, yeah, that one FBI agent cute, ooh, I hope I can eat their babies. It's like, whoa. It's not how you want to do it. Excuse me. I'm a monster. No. I mean, it of course, in that case, you know, it's an emotional response because it probably, you know, was what affected him, affected him deeply. Not because he was like, you know, freaked out, but because, you know, that kind of stuff can be emotional. It's an emotional thing to hear from someone else, you know, hearing what someone else has been through. Let's change to Maggie. And let's try. I'm actually kind of curious. I'm going to do the first level in the hardest difficulty possible. Also, I'm down if anybody else happens to own this game. I'm down to play with other folks. I'm more than happy to do some multiplayer, but don't rush out and buy the game just to play with me, though. Just because it's like, you know, it's not. I don't want you spending money on my behalf. I'm just kind of fucking around trying Mythic. Because basically, I'm trying to build our characters up a little bit more. So we can. Actually, let me go back real quick. we can have a better shot at beating this game next time we are able to play with Unstable or Quick EXE, one of our buddies. So we can play with some homies. I am just a little bit shy of being able to afford this thing. That's a shame. I eat faux children. Yes. Soylent. Yeah, I use, plant-based children. I eat plant-based children. That's a good fucking out of context sentence. Soylent Green babies. The guy who's sensitive. Yeah, I am sensitive. I am a sensitive snowflake. I'll be the first to admit. We were talking about Wind Waker earlier, and that's a game I eventually want to stream, but I have to be extremely careful. I have to be extremely careful when I eventually stream that game, because that's a game that, like, I don't exactly know what it is, but something about that game, when I hear the music, it, like, really kind of gets to me. It, like, I think it's because, you know, like a lot of us, you know, I played that game when I was a kid, which is cool, but I played Ocarina of Time when I was even younger, and Majora's Mask, and you know, I played all these other games when I was younger. Why does Wind Waker music affect me so much and, like, make me feel emotional? And I don't know why. I don't have an answer. Maybe because, like, it was on the GameCube and it had a, you know, a more sophisticated sound chip, sound setup, that kind of thing. But, like, yeah, I have to be careful, because if I'm in the wrong mood, or the right mood, if I'm in a certain mood and I listen to the ending theme to Wind Waker, it's like, don't do it, Alex, don't do it. Don't do it. Hold in the tears. Hold it. Hold it in. Don't let the feelings out. And of course, as you can imagine, I'm not a person who is afraid of, you know, of expressing emotions, that kind of thing. But in a live stream, you know, I want to keep it lighthearted and fun. I don't want I've yet to cry on stream, and I have all intention to keep it that way, goddammit. So try to keep that winning streak going as long as I can. Ideally, we'd make the babies first and then eat them, Praxis. Very good. Very good. I'm not going to say I respect it, but I respect your dedication. Want to talk some dedication. Play some Halo at some point. Yeah, I've actually never done, like, just Halo open lobby, but that'd be kind of fun, though. The soundtrack is a banger. Dragon Roost. Iggles gets it, bud. Iggles gets it. It's full of bangers, and it's because I hate it. Is it a trauma response for me? I don't think so. I don't think I really have. I mean, honestly, I haven't really been through a lot of shit in my life. You know, I really have had I had, like, a pretty sick childhood. I mean, yeah, my parents got separated. That shit sucked. You know, parents got divorced. But, like, everyone's parents have been divorced. Not literally everybody, but, like, so many. It's not that special. I mean, yeah, it was tough when I was a kid, but it happened when I was, like, 7. And Wind Waker came out when I was, like, 12. So it definitely wouldn't be that. I think it's just, like, it's just such a good game. I think it's just such a good game, and it means so much to me. I think that's, like, where the emotions come from. It's not, like, a fearful or, like, sad response. It's, like, bittersweet, you know? I think that's probably what it comes down to. I'm actually tempted to get the crit one, but I think I'd rather apply that to magic attack, so I'll just probably have more health. Magic attack, there we go. Yeah, I'll take that one. I mean, I say that, you know, more crit damage wouldn't be a bad thing, because I do like to shoot for the headshots. I will, you know what? I lied. I will do some crit damage, because I can't do any more. We're maxed out on reds anyway. We still got a lot of health. 200 is pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Yo, Meerkat. Meerkat says, I'm in a mood. Is the mood horny, Meerkat, for once? Fletch says, give me your tears. I will wring you like a sponge. Lighthearted when it comes to stuff. That's good. That's good. Because, yeah, like I said, first, it's a very personal thing. For some people, it's hard to talk about. You know, they don't want to retread those unsavory memories. They don't want to, you know, open up those old wounds. And who could blame them? Because, you know, you hear about some of the stories of people that have served. You know, you hear about some things that they've experienced, some of the horrible shit they've endured, and you go, fuck, no wonder you're, like, that shit messed you up and you know, gave you horrible trauma. Because, man, I'm fucking sad just hearing about it. This person fucking lived that shit. My father enjoyed it. He had a very successful series of getting divorced. I always love to point to that one episode of Scrubs. And mild spoilers, I guess, for a show that's like 20 years old. Well, 15 years old. I mean, the show probably came out 20 years ago, but this episode aired like 15 years ago. Some mild spoilers for the show Scrubs. I'll wave my hands when I'm done talking. It's a very good show, by the way. But difficulty increase. Potions spawn less often. Ooh, that's rough. Oh, we can choose which one. Oh, no, I don't get to choose. This is just what we have. So, fuck you, Alex. That's just what you get. No choice. But yeah, there is the episode where Dr. Cox and his wife get divorced after like hating each other for years and years and years. And the divorce is like played up as if they're getting married, like they're holding hands. Do you, Dr. Cox, accept, I can't remember her name, as your lawfully unwedded divorced ex-wife? And he's like, I do. It's so romantic. When I think of like lighthearted divorces, I think of that episode. Still talking to one of the stepmoms, yeah. Yeah, like in all of the cases of my parents getting separated, my mom's remarried now, my dad's, he's had a steady GF for a while, for several years now. Everyone's doing fine. Everyone is cordial. Everyone's fine. Everyone's like pretty chill with each other. No one's mad. No one's no one's upsetty. I was gonna say, I want you to explode, please. No one's upsetty. There's no fucking grudges that I at least now that I can tell. I like to think I have a pretty good sense of these things. There's no grudges. There's no fucking like, drama. There's no guilt tripping. Everything's fine. Like that shit's all water on the bridge. That's how my family is about it now, which is good. There was a time when there was drama and there was shit going down, but yeah, it's chill now. And we're all friends now. So it took some time to get there, obviously, but we eventually got there. If I was you, I would have divorced my father too. Oh, that's great. My mood is EP. We were just talking about EP because there's in the bottom left corner, there's what it's called energy points, but it's abbreviated as EP. So, oh, by the way, no more spoil. I said I was gonna wave my hands and I was done talking about it. Yeah, Scrubs. I love that show. Love that show. Gracie and I were actually getting through. We're like watching through that show because she'd seen a few episodes, but she'd never like really seen it. So we were powering through it for a bit, and we got distracted by a couple other shows. We want to go back and resume it at some point, but it's a really good show. We were talking about shows though. Futurama has this one with the Jurassic Park episode. We were talking about shows where you got to be careful, where certain episodes will fuck your shit up. Scrubs has certain episodes where certain episodes is one of those shows where certain episodes will fuck your shit up if you're not careful. So yeah, that's one where if you're in the wrong space and the episode where spoiler happens to the spoiler, nope, don't want that. You don't want to have anything productive to do. You want that to be the last thing you do for the night, because all you're gonna want to do is go to bed, because you're gonna be very sad. That's how it is for me whenever I watch those episodes. There's some doozies. Yeah, Scrubs has several of those. Futurama's got a couple. Apparently How I Met Your Mother has some of those. I've never actually watched that show, but I remember one of my buddies, back when the show was airing, he would post on Facebook and he'd be like, holy shit, tonight's episode, bro. I'd be like, damn, I didn't think it was that kind of show. Been a long time since I've watched the show. Honestly, I think it holds up pretty well. There's maybe a couple things that haven't aged perfectly well, but for the most part, I think it holds up pretty dang well. And one cool thing about Scrubs is that I have a number of nurse friends who are nurses. I have 2 friends that are now doctors. It took a while because, med school takes forever. But mostly, I like, usually medical industry goes, as far as that goes, most of the friends that I have are either pharmacists or nurses. And at least for the nurses, they say that Scrubs, it still dresses a lot of things up as a TV show. It still dramatizes. It still TV showifies a lot of things. But apparently, compared to ER and Grey's Anatomy and this and all the other hospital shows, apparently Scrubs is the closest to reality, according to my friends. With how it works, with how working in hospital really truly is for those who are in it day in and day out. That's what they say, at least. Let me get caught up on chat. I fell way behind. a legal breakup with a kid. That's how my parents' divorce was, because they weren't actually married, but they did have me. So yeah, it did make things complicated. Didn't get married till I was 40. I got married this year and I was 34. Actually, no, I was 33. I turned 34 this year. Yeah. So yeah, I waited, you know, not like a super long time, but you know, got well into my 30s. Well into my 30s. Downer. I'm trying to remember if I know that one. Holds up pretty well. What's up, Sherpit? Hope you're doing well. Oh, from BoJack Horseman. Yeah, that's a series where that episode is that show is full of downers though. You can't really be too mad about that show making you sad, because like the whole point of that show is to make you sad. It's to make you laugh too, but also to make you sad. Also, I don't really use power text a whole lot right now, so I'm gonna stick with days. What's extremely accurate? Sex sent me to the ER. Is this a Sex in the City ER crossover? Sex in the City sent me to the ER. Unfortunate. By the way, Liz, if you have any clips you want to share, I know I was kind of delinquent in asking for this, because we're having a good old time with telling stories about knees being exposed and Shrek mugging people with a knife and looking at funny images, but the option is yours if you have a clip you wish to share. Oh, Toy Story. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it a little bit. Maddie says, "God damn it, Alex." I see he's never seen a movie. Too real, man. Too real. I have seen, I think, the first 3 Toy Story movies. There's 4 now, aren't there? I've definitely seen the first 3. I can't remember if there's a Toy Story 4. You know what? Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure there is. Because it's got the little handmade fella. And that was like a big deal. But no, I've never seen 4. I've seen the first 3, and I've seen the first 1 several times. Love that movie. Love it as a kid, and it holds up pretty well nowadays. We're one-shotting everything, by the way, because our stuff is so supercharged. There is indeed a 4.
And stinging plants everywhere. Ugh. It'll all be worth it.
I'm used to men not listening to me.
Secret entrance to the crypts. From there,
I tell myself it wasn't that I was choosing not to listen, is that I just didn't catch the chat messages, but also real. Maddie says, just kidding, that was bad. I mean, it unfortunately is too real for a lot of folks out there, so no judgment here. Yeah, there is indeed a 4th one. What's up, Aleph? It's kind of like a rotoscope. It's funny you say that. I saw in one of the reviews for this game, somebody said it was like a Joel Haver adventure fever dream. And to that I say, I can kind of see it. I mean, I guess it's like a rotoscope, cell shading kind of vibe. It is a pretty cool aesthetic. I usually just call it cell shading, but I don't know if that's like a proper term to describe what's going on visually, but I do like it. I like this game a lot. I'm gonna leave that because we haven't taken any damage, actually. The game actually has only been out for about a month. A little bit less than a month, actually. So it's still pretty new. And as an added bonus, we're actually doing some giveaways for this game, probably fairly soon. I don't know if we're doing any tonight, unfortunately, because we're probably not going to be able to beat the game tonight. But, because the last dare we're working on involves beating the game. The reason I'm playing this game is because I was able to get a review copy of the game through a dare drop. And with dare drop, you get to sign up for extra dares. Dares, what they call them, like meta achievements. Or that one. Kind of like meta achievements where, or like just extra challenges. And as you complete those challenges, you get extra unlocks, or extra giveaways, rather. You unlock extra giveaways you can then give to your viewers. You know, pass the unlocks on to them, if you will. This is the first level, by the way. If you're wondering why I'm just murdering everything in one hit. Well, mostly one hits. because this is the first level, and it's the hardest difficulty I have available, but I was just curious to see what the hardest difficulty is like. Well, it's not the hardest, but it's the hardest one we have right now. So we're kind of cleaving through everything. But anyway, yeah, so I signed up for a number of optional challenges, and one of them, the last one, involves beating the game, and we'll get 2 giveaways. 2 Steam keys to give away if we're successful. But it's probably not happening tonight. It might happen tomorrow. Possibly tomorrow. We'll see. Oh, another one. Explodes with cotton candy, and he gives us some trinkets. And money. And level to level 2.
Powerful.
Very good. Electric Boogaloo. Lizzie says, it's time for some sleepies. Lizzie, by the way, thank you again for that raid. And if you do indeed think of any clips you want to share, or if any of your viewers have any clips of your stream that is fairly recently you want to share, I'd love to see them. Because whenever somebody raids me, the least I can do is ask if there's any clips you want to share, anything you want to plug, because whenever someone raids, that's them doing me a huge solid by exposing their community to my degenerate antics. And I appreciate that. It's very, very generous. Very nice. There might even be a Toy Story 5, maybe. My goodness. I mean, I've never seen 4, so I have no idea how it ends. I thought 3 ended in a way where it was like kind of an implication that it was the last one. But they made a 4. I mean, I guess they could keep making them. I mean, people will go to watch them because the movies are usually pretty good. And I'm sure they probably print money. 80s vibe. Yeah, usually what I tell people is that it's like a Saturday morning cartoon RPG with some pretty noteworthy roguelike elements. The roguelike elements are maybe a little bit shallow. Maybe a little bit shallow compared to others. I will do this one. You know, compared to other roguelikes. You know, certainly compared to Binding of Isaac or Noita, you know, others are much more sophisticated with their roguelike aspects, but it's still pretty good, and the co-op works exceedingly well. Co-op is very, very fun in this game. Yeah, we were able to get a review copy a while back, a couple weeks ago, and we've been playing it a lot. It's very good. And, yeah, the plan is to complete that last challenge sometime this week. Kill the rat in the dungeon. What's the rat's name? I'm trying to remember. He's such a special boy. Yeah, I killed the rat, and then I... Well, at least, if you see my son down there, could you let me know... Let him know I'm looking for him? You describe him for me. Like, whenever somebody raids, like I said, it's always nice to... You know, give something back to someone who raids. Like, you know, the least I can do is say, like, oh man, what's something I can do? I'm actually not going to take that one. What's something I can do to repay the favor? The fact they raided us and they're trusting their community with my degenerate ass for, like, all the dumb shit we were saying earlier. This dumb, weird, degenerate nonsense. Trusting us to treat their viewers with the dignity and respect that they deserve, and instead we're subjecting them to Shrek mugging people with knives and all kinds of nonsense. So I do appreciate you, Lizzie. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 specifically. They love jump scares. I don't usually think of jump scares in a game like, in a series like Mortal Kombat. That is kind of surprising, but we are in the first, actually technically in the 3rd day of Halloween. Now, some say Halloween starts on September 1st. So in some religions, Halloween's been going on for over a month by this point, some cultures. But for most of us, Halloween begins in October 1st. Now, for the most based of all of us, Halloween is all year long. And yes, I'm going to take the healing one. So now we have 2 forms of healing, which is pretty dang good. Also a rare Sapphire Shard. Those are very nice. And also quite rare. Who knew? I healed 1 HP. Worth it. Very worth it. Oh, by the way, earlier I was... sorry, I kind of got lost in my train of thought there. I was talking about the giveaways. Talking about the Dare Drop giveaways, because we're working on 1 more that will yield 2 Steam keys. I actually have a 3rd Steam key that I'll also be giving away for this game. As I kind of goofed the other day, we did a giveaway for this, and a person won a copy of this game when they'd already won a copy of this game from a previous Mythforce Dare Drop giveaway that we did a week prior, and I forgot about it. So I messaged him. I was like, ah, shit, I feel a little bad about this, but I was supposed to remove your name from the list. And they were cool about it. They were like, no, it's fine. They were like, it's fine. Because generally what I say is that, like, you know, one person can't win the same key multiple times, or a key for the same game multiple times. Try to, you know, keep it interesting by having it be a new person each time, at least. Like, one person can win multiple giveaways, that's fine, but if it's for the same game, that's where I kind of draw the line. Whoop, let's teleport over here. So anyway, we have a third key we'll also give away once we achieve this other one. Just slap that guy in the face. But the way you get into consideration for these giveaways, the way you get can participate is channel points. It's a 500 point channel point redemption to get a raffle ticket. We just do it as in a raffle. We actually have a number of giveaways we're kind of working on. We have one for Void Crew, I hope to reach this week. And then one, of course, a giveaway raffle redemption for Mythforce. And I think those are the only ones that are active. There might be one for Chance of Sonaro. I was supposed to disable that one, but I might have forgotten to actually disable it. Get that monies. We'll probably be able to afford the next level in Spellbook enchantments. That'd be nice. After this mission, that is. Previous games had them all over. Oh, for the unlocking stuff sections, yeah. It's kind of a cool... like a cool mechanic that the newer Mortal Kombat games have. Where you can kind of like go shopping, you can unlock a bunch of cool stuff, and that's how you get costumes, and background music, and stages, and sometimes even new characters. It's kind of cool, and it gives the game a lot of replay value, because for some of those, it takes a long time to unlock everything. Yeah, go to the quick time events. That's good. But sometimes holding it together when the spooky times happen. I get it. I probably would have reacted about the same. Oh, Dexter dog. Hello, doggy. I got this dog. This doggy on my lap. Yeah, so I need to disable those redeems, because as much as I wish that I did, as I wish that I did have more, sadly I do not have more keys or Chance of Sonaro to give away, because that game was a lot of fun. Extremely good game. Oh, there he is. He's in the poison. You fool! Critical hit. Critical hit. He's dead. Except he died in the poison, which means I have to wade through the poison to pick up his monies. Will the damage over time kill him? 2 damage or 2 HP. Yeah, I know. I'm bummed about it too. That game was very good. It was a very good game.
How brilliant I am.
It's a very good game, and it makes me wonder what else the devs might have up their sleeve as far as other projects they're working on, because the game was just very well made. It was very good and just very well designed. Solid across the board. The downside is that, like, it's probably one of those games a lot of people will sleep on. But it's a really good one. Chance of Sonaro, highly recommended. Very much so. There was another potion, or even better, a full heal station. That'd be super neat. Super duper neat. But we might not be in that amount of luck. Get a bunch of these things, though. Okay. I'm gonna try to get the money that this fella probably dropped. Take a bit of dip of poison damage, but it's fine.
Gross.
He dropped nothing, apparently. Ain't that some shit? Alright, well, never mind. Oh, there we go. I got a bunch just now. Okay. Was it worth it? Eh, it's okay. Take the potion. We heal when we kill bad guys. It'll be fine. It's fine. 171 is plenty. And we also got the ult ready to go at a moment's notice. Channeling speed of hold spells. I haven't really been using hold spells, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. Not the worst idea in the world. Got a shop. Oh.
Was that something coming or going? Oh, something wicked must be close.
Something wicked. I think I will keep those. Not gonna get rid of those. Oh, Dexter dog. It's okay, buddy. Hey, bud. Might snag that potion. It's only 4,000. It's not too much. Let's see. I think it'll be okay. The only really tricky part is going to be the last, like the very last room. But I think it'll be okay. We've got a pretty good build going, so I'm feeling confident. Maybe it's unearned confidence, but I'm feeling confident. This thing, we're also getting more archers, that kind of thing, which means probably not a bad idea to put this down and put this down. So if archers are going to try to diddle me in questionable ways, then I will put the little thing that prevents them from doing so. We'll call it the archer condom. Way that it, you know, prevents them from impregnating my face with arrows. Actually, it ended at a very good time. Timing was very good with that one. Well, I never get this one. It's attached to Maggie for the duration. That's kind of good. But the downside is that then it doesn't hurt the bad guys as much. Let's do that one. As I like because that barrier does a number of things. It protects against arrows, but it also does damage to bad guys when they enter the circle, and it makes them more vulnerable to taking more damage. It lowers their defenses. And the one that turns the shield into like a personal barrier is nice because it gives you the protection, but then there's no offensive abilities. It's purely defensive. So then it's only really helpful against ranged bad guys. And sometimes you're getting swamped by a bunch of melee guys and you want to, you know, slow their movements and fuck them up a little bit. So I'm pretty sure it does not protect against, like melee attacks, that kind of thing. Fairly certain. And then I never really use this thing, but I will do this one. I usually get Phoenix. I can help it. Okay. And I think I will take Intense. More damage. More damage, please. We're one-shotting most things, but it's gonna throw a couple of larger enemy types when we get to the last area. So I'm trying to be prepared. It's okay, doggy. About halfway through. That was these little bonus areas. Lots of stuff to explode. Oh boy. Don't get too close. Okay, but it's okay. So I wonder if the noises he's making are getting picked up by the microphone at all. He's like making little doggy squeaky noises. Let it be known, I took him out 2.5 hours ago. Like, Dexter, you are not being neglected, you little drama queen. I've been taken outside. It's been so long, Alex. It's been hours. Yes, 2 hours. 2 hours and some change, you little doofers. I will take that potion. One of our cats does that too. One of our cats is like such a drama queen. And so much so that we've like taken her to the vet before, where we're like, she keeps making so much noise, we're worried if there's something wrong with her. And the vet would check her out, be like, she's fine. You know, run the blood test. Like, now she just wants more attention. just being a little pill. It's like, oh, okay. Glad we went through all this trouble and got so concerned just for her to be just a little shithead. It's a little piece of work. $25,000. That's actually not a lot of gold, but it is the first level in the game. On Mythic I difficulty. I'm guessing by the time we get to Mythic 3, then it makes even the basic level skeletons pretty spicy. But for now, they've been pretty chill. Because again, we're one-shotting most things. 20% more gold. Oh, I guess I picked it up already. So medium or medium. I'll take the medium. And then drink the other one. I suspect we probably have about 5 combat rooms left, because they're the last, like, 2 rooms. I don't think you actually ever, like, properly clear out. Also, can I explode that guy from afar? The fellow that rolled away. He performed a tactical roll out of combat. Heard something spawn behind me. Oh, hello. I gotta be careful because they can definitely spawn around here as well. They like to kind of snuggle up behind you when you least expect it. There we go, we got him. I just don't want him to roll away from me and then explode when I least expect it. I like to see the explosions coming. There's definitely no way that could be phrased differently. And the path is open. Good. We are getting some very good gems, though. The various gems we use in the constellation maps to, like, upgrade our characters. We're not getting that much more gold, but the gem drops are much more generous. Generous, even. And the glyphs are also dropping more plentifully. More proliferously. More prociferously, which I'm sure is probably a real word, probably. The drops are more cromulent. You know, with the higher difficulties. But yeah, but not gold, though. Gold, it seems like in the later stages, even in the earlier difficulties, we were getting hella gold. Boop. I think we're good now. I think at the time it is almost 1 AM. What we'll probably do is we'll finish up this level for sure. This Dexter does the shakies. We'll finish up this level for sure. And then this will probably be what we end on for the night. But we'll continue this game tomorrow for sure. I definitely want to continue with it. It's not like I was rolling away. He stole something! Oh my god. And I just expended all of my energy trying to catch him. Oh my god. So I don't know what he stole. I think it was the vampiric bracers. That's a shame. I've actually never had them successfully steal something from me. I've always been able to get it back, but they managed to get me with the bamboozle that time because I missed my shots. A little bugger. That's okay. The vampiric bracers are not really necessary because we already have something that lets us heal as we kill bad guys. The perk that we have, so it was more of a matter of my pride, you know. I was probably too distracted by the mimic that was rolling away. I mean to blow that up. Dexter, don't. Hey, calm down. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. This dog needs to calm his titties. Calm down, my little bro, my little duders. Yeah, normally I'm using the charge shot a lot more in this, with this build. But the lightning has been so effective, we're just kind of plowing through these dudes.
Powerful.
With nary a care in the world. It's kind of nice. But it's only because it's mostly throwing the naked skeletons at us. And of course, eventually they stop throwing skeletons entirely. And they instead like to hit you with the mushroom folks and the lizard lads and the acolytes. Oh, they stole the boots that give me more money. Okay, so I stole the vampirism bracers. I would have rather he stole those, honestly, because the gold, the boots that give me more money, you know, that cuts into my bottom line. That's not too cool, freaking little imp lad. That imp lad that stole from us. So not nice. I think I'm gonna re-roll this one. I might take second wind. That would have helped earlier when I kind of ran out of EP at a very an inconvenient time. Another potion. It's a small one. Go this way first. Okay, buddy. Calm down, bud. He's being a little wiggle worm. He says, I gotta wiggle. I can't help it. Yes, I'll take that. More HP. Sure. 10% max HP. No strings attached. Just get more numbers. I'm down. Yeah, more fancy gems, more glyphs. It's the good stuff too. The rare ruby gem, that's a good stuff too, because that's the stuff that is for, you know, damage and crit percent and all that jazz. Though, that's the really good stuff. I like how this game does crits for the most part, where instead of being a percent chance to crit, you will crit if you hit the sweet spot. Now, hitting the sweet spot's a little bit tricky sometimes. For skeletons, it's pretty easy. Just hit the skull. Nice and simple. The mushroom folk, it's a little bit different. Fungus folk, because their sweet spot's a little bit hard to see. It's kind of like where their little eyes are. It's like how their mushroom skin is like the outermost layer. There's like an innermost layer that is their sweet spot, but there's these tiny little slivers on their faces where their eyes are. That's like where you hit for a crit shot, a successful crit shot. But it's kind of hard to hit, even with bow and arrow. It's kind of small targets. The problem though is with melee. With melee, you can only crit if you're behind them, and they're not focused on you. So sneaking around to crit somebody with melee is really hard, especially for Victoria, since her whole presence is being the tank and being, you know, and drawing in the aggro of. You stole from me earlier, dude. Drawing in aggro of the bad guys so that they're paying attention to her. So yeah, that's like for some character types, it's kind of hard to make the crits happen. But I think I'd rather that though. Well, in her case, it's a bit of a bummer, but in all other cases, I like the fact that crits work if you plan your shots accordingly. Like that's very satisfying versus just a random chance. It also means if a bad guy crits me, it's not because they got lucky, it's because I like exposed myself too much and they got a shot on my face. Whereas sometimes you play a game like this, a bad guy gets a really just lucky crit, and you go, well, fuck, how was I supposed to, you know, just don't get crit, forehead. Don't have RNG that plays not well into your favor. Sometimes it do be that way. We got his ass, and the room is open. Higo says, "Hey yo." Was it because I said something about like taking a giant steaming crit on his face? Was it something along those lines? I said, man, I really let that man take a steaming crit on my face, and I didn't even get any money out of it. He didn't even pay me $50 like he usually does. And exposing yourself? Ooh, now it's a party. Party on multiple fronts. Can't get crit if you don't get hit. There you go. Just don't take damage. Simple as that, man. We call that a skill issue, where I come from. Okay, so it's a few rooms left, and I think only like 1 or 2 combat rooms left, for that matter. 20 damage? Sure. It's not bad. Just kill a lot of things constantly. Easy peasy. These guys are getting bold ever since they stole from us successfully once. They're thinking they can just snipe shit from us constantly. Bam. Can't spawn above me. They can spawn above us over there, though. We gotta be smart. Smart and smart. Yeah, that right there. You can kind of see, like, the little slivers of their face. That is vulnerables. Critical shit. Oh, that'd have been slick if I could have sniped that guy midair like that. But these guys with the big helmets, or the big, like, mushroom pods, they smartly keep their head down while they're charging towards you, so as to not expose their weak spot. Good stuff, though. Good stuff. More monies. Yes, please. We're past the 40,000 mark. We'll take it. Critical piss. Going to lose a bunch of health to get 5,000 gold? Yes. Yes, I do. It's a one-time thing. Can't do it multiple times. Probably for the best, honestly, because that would hurt. Of course, we got potions. That's 1,000 gold right there. Very nice. Now, I haven't been paying attention. Was there a mini... Oh, yeah, there was a mini-boss. Yeah, he died in the poison. I remember now. I remember it like it was yesterday. When it was, in fact, half an hour ago. Alright. Alright, I think we're set. So I think that's the last combat room before the final push. Glass cannon? Of course. Of course, glass cannon. Yeah, I think the last room is going to be the doozy. But I think we'll be okay, though. I've said... I've eaten those words in the past, but I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty confident. There's a bunch of fireworks in this room. We get this room archetype quite a lot, but no complaints because it's quite lucrative. Quite lucrative. Yeah, we almost went up to like... We almost went up 10,000 gold in like 2 rooms. Notice that sometimes when you're picking up gold, the game lags a little bit. Of all things, it never lags during combat. It never lags during, like, loading in a room. But when you pick up things, like pick up gold, sometimes, especially gold that is static in the world and did not come from a container or a treasure chest, it, like, lags a little bit. It's very odd. Not what I would usually expect to see. I would think that would, you know, impact performance negatively. Unless it's, like, redrawing, like, the whole area. Because it was a static object and now it's gone and has to be redrawn without it or something. It seems weird. That's probably the boots he got from the guy that stole them from me. Oh, wow. It's not worth buying them back. What we get out of it is very little. What I will do, though, is sell these things. Sell those. Anything else around here? It's just a shop, I think. Yep, it's just a shop. Good enough for me. This is where the guy's gonna talk shit.
Only fools trespass on
He's talking
my
shit.
domain,
He's about to get hit.
and I do
That's
not
how it works.
grant intruders safe passage. You may take pride that you have come so far. Your incursion has come to an end.
Here comes the baddies.
My minions will
You want to be right here? I think I'll be right here for a bit. And I'll teleport past them. If I need to get the heck out of dodge.
I'd be terrified if I hadn't minded minions.
She's out of there. I'm gonna go and put this down. Put one of these down. And do this. So now we get full health. And we get crazy good damage buffs for a little bit. Ouch. Just got most of our stuff to respawn, which means I can just
Please
put this
keep
down
your
again.
arms and legs inside the bubble at all
And put our
times.
bird friend down too, because he's doing a great job. He's killing everything for me. Making me look real good. Doing all my work for me. I do appreciate how we killed the mini-boss so quickly. She was like, I'm a mini-boss and I got something to say, and then she fucking died. That is kind of a tough mini-boss, though, especially this early in the game. Ouch.
Look
Put our friend down again. The shield's now ready for another minute or so. It's just an endless horde for 2 minutes. And if something crazy happens, we do have the teleport to get the heck out of Dodge. Getting a little bit low on energy, though. Boop. So my stuff is on cooldown, so I gotta be a little bit careful. Oh, hello. A little bit careful, I say, as I just blind the fact that some dude just tried to stab my face. Or successfully stab my face.
Please keep your arms and legs inside the bubble at all
Inside the
times.
bubble. And now we're good, actually. That was the last couple of enemies, and we are set. Never even broke a sweat. Easy peasy. But we had a pretty good build. And this really wasn't too hard. Even on the hardest difficulty that's currently available for us, this level was pretty much a breeze, honestly. So now... the last room. Sometimes they have a couple extra things in this last room, like, yeah, a treasure chest. I always have this open, but there's never anything in here. There's like always a couple extra things in this last room, but usually it's just one treasure chest. Maybe there's like a shop sometimes, but... big chest. Bam. Bunch of shards, bunch of glyphs, some little bit of money. We did pretty good. We done good. So that was the first level on what is currently the hardest available difficulty. Mystic 1. That means we just unlocked Mystic 2. Or Mythic 2, rather. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. So no quest progress. That's okay, though. And now, out of curiosity, can I can fancy a spellcasting, or just weapon for this character. For the lightning skills, at least. It'll be a while before we can upgrade to the tier 4 stuff. But the tier 4 stuff is the last upgrade there, so I don't feel too bad about it. A little bit low on money, but it's fine. It's worth it. It's worth it.